Get ready for your daily dose of marketing strategies and tactics from entrepreneurs with the guile and experience to help you find success in any marketing capacity. You're listening to Marketing School with your instructors, Neil Patel and Eric Su.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su.
And I'm Neil Patel.
And today we're going to talk about 7 ways to get more people to open your emails. So I'll start. What I really like, whenever I send people the subject line, hey, so H-E-Y, literally hey, the open rate is about 60% or so. And it's because you're invoking curiosity, right? It's like, hey, what is this guy saying exactly? And for whatever reason, the open rate's extremely high. Well, I just talked about curiosity, but then they also, hopefully you're delivering some sort of value. The thing with these headlines or whatever tactics we're going to give you, make sure that you're not just trying to bait them in. Make sure that you're actually delivering the value and not switching them out to something else where you're scamming them. What's number 2, Neil?
Number 2 is try the subject lines with RE. So like a reply. You can put in whatever your original email was. Like if you want to do a subject line like how to increase your Google rankings, you could be like how to increase your Google rankings. A reply means people think it's a reply, but by putting a in front of it, every time we've done that, we've noticed the open rates to go up by at least another 10%.
And number 3 is simple. You just put their first name, and you can put their first and last name as well. People like that. People like seeing their first and last name. And sometimes, literally, all I'm going to put is their name. So I might just put Neil. And open rates on that, we're seeing around 50 to 60% or so. Just make sure that the tactics that we're giving you right now, don't abuse them. Use them at the right time when you're actually going to give something really good and you're going to continue to foster that trust. Because if you keep trying to trick people over and over, people aren't going to like you.
Yeah, and the most open rate I ever got is from this subject line, and I've tested this many times. And it only works if you have a blog or audience that's been with you for a bit. It's first name, I need a favor, ... can you help, ? And then parentheses, plus some good news, right? That subject line is you have a favor from, so you send this email when you want something from, right? You're asking for a favor. And of course, you want to reciprocate and give them something. I found this to help a lot with the open rates, more than you can imagine.
And another one this one's more time-based. So let's say when I'm starting a webinar, well, I'm going to say starting now, or I might just say, this deal is expiring right now too. And when you tell people you're starting now, oftentimes with the webinars, especially, most of the signups or a lot of the signups are coming through the last email message that you're sending. When you're telling them you're starting now, it's very time-based. You're establishing a sense of urgency, and that's how you get people in the door. Make sure that you're trying to use urgency to your advantage.
Yeah, another thing to keep in mind when you're trying to increase email open rates, the name of the sender matters is a big difference. And the way I learned this was we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of emails, right? We collect at least 1,500 a day. And what we learned was my team accidentally through Infusionsoft sent out an email using Mark's name instead of my name, and the email open rates tanked, right? The email was still about marketing. Mark works for the company, he has the @Neil Patel email address, but still the open rates tanked. And I was asking a few other people, one of my buddies, Ryan at Bounce Exchange, and he was saying similar things. He's like, hey, they've done a ton of email tests, but he was like, hey, the name of the sender makes a huge difference. So test different people within your organization as the sender, like the person's name, and see what that does to your open rates.
And another one I like to use, similar to the urgency one, I like to say, hey, we're on the phone right now, or hey, we're on the line right now. Are you joining us, right? Or it just might be, are you joining us? So you'll ask a specific question, and they'll be like, well, what are they asking specifically? And then they'll start to dig in a little more because they're curious. Typically with this subject line, when I'm asking a question or whatever it is exactly, or even in some cases where I'm asking people to help out with the survey, could you help us for 2 minutes or so? I'm seeing open rates around, I want to say 35 to 45% or so. So test these out. I think you can also make modifications too. Again, even though we're giving you these formulas right here, you want to make sure you adjust them properly so it just doesn't sound like the same thing over and over. Because what we tend to see in the marketing space is, people will, especially when they share like outreach templates, people start to share the same things over and over. And I told you like a couple weeks ago, somebody literally used an exact Neil Patel template on me. So people are literally just cut and pasting. People are being lazy. I think, everyone listening to this, very smart, be a little more creative. And I think you'll start to see even better results than what we're giving. Neil, anything else to add before we hop off?
Sure, I'll give you guys another quick bonus one. So when you're sending emails, it's the person's name, subject line, and then typically email providers like Gmail will put in the first sentence in there, right? So they'll put in the subject line. A lot of times the subject line doesn't take up the whole space. So they'll show first sentence within the email. I believe that's called a pre-header. When you're using email providers, like, for example, I use Marpost, and it says when I'm sending out blasts, they call it a pre-header, and you can change that first sentence. So I'll put in something that's really appealing, because after someone reads the subject line, even before they click through, first sentence is a pre-header. So if my subject line was how to start blogging if you fell off the wagon a long time ago, right? And my pre-header could be something as simple as like, 8 tactics to blog consistently, or whatever it may be. Something that simple. It'll be like, oh, cool. Let me click through and read it. But make sure whatever pre-header you're using isn't deceiving and it's related to the content.
All right. Awesome. That's it for this short episode of Marketing School. We'll see you tomorrow.
This session of Marketing School has come to a close. Be sure to subscribe for more daily marketing strategies and tactics to help you find the success you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best daily content possible. We'll see you in class tomorrow, right here on Marketing School.